Is it safe to say in Henrico and Richmond right now, staff are not going from place to place? They're all staying at one facility?
I don't think I can say that 100%.
We're still at the bottom. So I'm wondering why that is. A lot of our viewers keep reaching out wanting to know why is our testing rate so low compared to other states.
We're at 9,801, which is 199 tests from 10,000. And so I'm very pleased.
Kay Smith's 80th birthday party in March of 2016 was a time for celebration. After all, she lived near all three of her children and was in fantastic health.
We talk to her nearly every day. She's our best friend, really. And my brother, too.
Kay took good care of herself and religiously went to her doctors for preventative checkups, including mammograms at the Allison Breast Center in Henrico, run by Dr. Michael Big.
She trusted him.
Kay's daughters say Big would routinely tell their mom that there were no signs of breast cancer. However, in 2018, she started feeling extreme fatigue.
She wasn't feeling well in 2018. She was tired, and it concerned her.
So her primary care doctor sent her to get a mammogram somewhere else.
We were all together, and she told us that, yeah, she had stage 4 breast cancer. And we were devastated.
Absolutely devastated.
The diagnosis was terminal.
I just couldn't believe that stage 4, it just, it couldn't be.
According to a lawsuit against Big filed by Kay Smith in 2019, her new radiologist, Dr. Ryan Gabriel, reviewed the mammograms and ultrasounds that Big had administered in 2015, 2016, and 2017. Gabriel found that each one was highly suggestive of malignancy, suggesting that she had cancer.
And we were just shocked. She said, I want to protect patients around Richmond. I want to get the word out.
Kay worried there might be other patients like her, so she sent a complaint to the Board of Medicine.
I think that was, we were in line for the
Dumbo
ride, and Caitlin put her mouth on the handrail.
Wait, seriously? I did?
Around that same time in 2018, Catherine Akers had her first mammogram read by Dr. Big.
He said, looks good. Come back in a year.
But by the time of her next appointment in May of 2019, the mother of 3 girls had started feeling pain in her right breast.
I honestly was expecting him to find something. He did the mammogram again, and he said, no, everything looks fine.
By that August, at age 42, she could feel a lump.
I feel like God moved my hand to show me the lump.
When she was able to get into another practice in September to get an ultrasound of her breast.
Well, they got me to get my old films from Allison Breast Center, and I brought those in, and they said they couldn't tell me I had breast cancer that day, but they basically told me I had breast cancer that day. The radiologist there was, because my first reaction was, I can't believe this is here and it wasn't there in May. And he said, no, it was there in May. And he really was very vocal about how upset he was with Allison Breast Center. And in fact, he could see it from the previous mammogram as well. So for 2 years in a row, you could see the cancer.
Although Catherine never filed a complaint, she is patient K in the report, which led the Board of Medicine to suspend Dr. Big's medical license last month. The practice closed shortly thereafter.
I'm one of them, and honestly, I did not know that I was one of them.
The report includes the stories of 18 patients who the medical board found all had their mammograms misread by Big.
I just couldn't believe that I had put my trust in Dr. Big, and he failed me in a major way, and it could have ended my life because of it.
Kay Smith is also in the board's report, but by the time her cancer was found, it was too late. She died on April 11th. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, her family says they never got to properly say goodbye.
We were not even allowed to go in the door to admit her. It was awful. It was just absolutely awful that we couldn't be there during her last 2 days. Dr. Big just needs to shut down so that no other mother, sister, aunt, whomever will have to go through this.
I reached out to Dr. Big's office via email about the allegations in the K-Smith lawsuit, as well as the board's findings, but I have yet to hear back. In his response to the civil lawsuit, Big denies Smith's claims, saying that he did not breach the standard of care and did not proximately cause her alleged injuries. A post on the Allison Breast Center's Facebook page by Big's wife states that they strenuously deny all of this and say they have been subject to lies and insinuations. That page appears to have been taken down. At midnight on September 27, 2019, an SUV is pulled over for speeding on Broad Street near 288.
You're going 65 miles per hour. That's 20 miles over the speed limit.
Deputy Terry Russell would soon learn the man behind the wheel was a fellow member of law enforcement.
Where are you coming from?
Police department. I was hanging out with a friend of mine tonight.
What's that?
I was hanging out with a friend of mine tonight. It was his birthday.
Henrico Police Lieutenant Russell Hockaday was off duty at the time.
I've had a couple of beers. I'm not gonna lie to you, sir. I'm okay.
Would you be willing to do the breathalyzer?
No, sir, I would not.
Put me in a tough spot, man.
I'm just trying to get home. I just finished the beer.
Well, the thing is, I can smell the alcohol coming out of here. You're going 20 miles over the speed limit. That's the tough spot that I'm put in.
Body cam footage captured that night shows Russell asking Hockaday if he wants to do a field sobriety test.
I'd rather just drive home with my wife and kids.
I mean, I got to figure out where you are, man, before I can send you off. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'm trying to work with you. But the fact that you're going 20 miles over the speed limit and I smell alcohol coming out of the car.
Hockaday then makes a request.
I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what you want me to do. I'll call a ride.
I can do field sobriety tests. Otherwise, you got to call a ride. All right.
I'll call a ride.
I don't want to have you doing all.
Let me just call a ride, and then we don't have to go through all that. I don't want to put you in that position.
You've already put me in the position.
Deputy Russell then turns off his body camera to call his supervisor. The Goochland Sheriff's Office says that's the protocol anytime another member of law enforcement is pulled over. But Russell would forget to turn it back on until the final field sobriety test, the 9-step heel-to-toe walking test. As you can see, Hockaday stumbles on the 4th step and the 1st step after his turn.
To me, that indicated that there was some degree of impairment.
That's Goochland County Commonwealth's attorney Mike Caudill, a former police officer himself, who decided to move forward with the case.
The evidence supported the charge, and we let the judge decide.
Evidence like bloodshot eyes, the smell of alcohol, and Hockaday's eventual admission to having 5 beers since 7:30, according to the prosecutor. Plus, Caudill said he trusts Russell's judgment. In fact, Russell is considered one of Central Virginia's top DUI officers, receiving the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Law Enforcement Award in 2017, 2018, and 2019.
He is experienced, he's professional, and his credibility is above reproach.
Do you think it's appropriate for somebody who works in law enforcement to ask another member of law enforcement for a professional courtesy?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I hate to use the cliche, it doesn't hurt to ask, but it's a personal thing that somebody does that, you know, I mean, I just, I'm not going to take a position either way on that. It's, but I do it now.